Hi everybody, welcome to this edition of Nature in Your Backyard. These are my mason bee and my mason bee house. Mason bees are native to Oregon and Washington, and they are huge spring pollinators. Again, let me show you my fancy high-tech thing here. Here is a picture of a mason bee. This is called a blue orchard mason bee, and in the sunlight it actually kind of looks metallic, and they're pretty small compared to most bees. And so again, they said that they are spring pollinators. What does a pollinator mean? Well, it means that some kind of animal, particularly in this case it's going to be bees, they're going to go to a flower and they're going to collect, or they're going to eat nectar and pollen. And as they're eating that nectar and pollen, they get some pollen kind of up against their belly area. And then they move to the next flower to get more pollen, more nectar. And again, that pollen that was on their body gets transferred to the next flower, which means then that flower is now have the ability to make a seed or a fruit, so that the flower can continue on growing in the area. The female mason bees have stingers. However, they are very docile and pretty friendly actually, and they're only going to bother you if you are aggressive toward them, or if they accidentally get caught in your clothes, something like that. That's why I can stand so close and they just fly right by me. They don't bother me. They don't even care that I'm really here. The males do not have stingers. So it's interesting how the females do and the males don't. And again, they go to flowers, specifically flowers that they really like fruit plants. So flowers that are going to produce a fruit. I don't think they're too picky, but that's what they prefer. And they're going to eat the nectar and pollen from those flowers. And what they're doing now, what the females are doing, is they are laying eggs. So if you look at my house here, and you can see all of the what we call reeds, or those tubes, those wooden tubes. And you can see some of them are empty, some of them have black areas on them, or brown areas on them, and that's mud. We call that capping. So what happens is that the female will come in and she'll lay her eggs in those tubes. Now I made a fancy schmancy drawing here, so you can see it here, and this is representing a tube. Okay, so on the end, on the left, you have mud where she's capped the end of the tube. The yellow that you see, she has left pollen and nectar in there. The black that you see is the egg that she's laid, and then the next line next to the egg is more mud. And so she's kind of made a little home for her egg. And you can see she does the exact same process all the way to the end of the tube, where she puts another thing of mud to protect it from the weather, and also from predators and mites and disease. So she'll start off at the bottom end. She'll put some mud there to cap it, and then she'll bring in some nectar and pollen, and then they lay the egg. And then when the egg hatches in a few days, it is going to eat that pollen and nectar that she's provided for it. And then a few more days later, it'll actually make a cocoon, and it'll stay in that cocoon, get nice and warm, and metamorphosize all summer long and change into an adult bee. Then about fall, I'm going to take out all of those reeds or tubes. I'm going to crack them open. I'm going to take out all the cocoons. Again, now by this time that they are adult bees, but they're going to stay in their cocoons for now. I'm going to wash out the cocoons, make sure there's no parasites, no disease, just get everything washed off, then store them properly over the winter time. Then the springtime, about March, when it gets to be nice and warm, can keep in mind that bees are cold-blooded, so they are going to need their heat to come from the sun. So when it starts to get above about 50 to 60 degrees in the early March, I'm going to put them, then I'm going to actually put the cocoons at the top of the house. Let's see if I can move it up here. See that little hole up there? That's where I'm going to put the cocoons. And then when they get warm, they're going to come out of the cocoons, and they're going to start that whole entire process over again, because I'm going to have new fresh reeds in there. And they'll start the whole entire process over. And it's so fun to be able to see them every year. I look forward to it every March. And just come out here and see them really, really busily working as bees. And I hope they're able to see, you can actually see at the bottom left-hand corner, there's a bee working on something at the bottom left-hand corner there. And it's really fun to be able to see them every day when it's warm, working really hard to be bees. And thanks for joining me. Oh, wait, the one came in there. All right, thanks for joining me. Bye.